This program is about restoring dignity, human dignity. If somebody feels good about themselves, they know that they can make it, you light a fire.
To see that transformation in only 18 months is phenomenal. We have seen it happen. We have seen them get out of poverty, and we know it's possible.
Haiti, the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. 3/4 of the Haitian people live in poverty, 4 out of 8 million in extreme poverty, most of them in the rural areas. Foncauze has been working across Haiti for over a decade, but a few years ago they found that traditional microfinance wasn't getting to people living in extreme poverty.
I had just assumed that we were reaching the poorest people, but I discovered when we finally had the opportunity to do the research that in fact we were not.
Eradicating extreme poverty needed a new approach. So Foncauze created Chemin La Vie Mio, a program that deliberately selects the poorest, most vulnerable and isolated women. The Creole name for the program means Pathway to a Better Life, and it's the first step in their journey out of extreme poverty.
You gotta be careful going down here.
We crossed the river at Boucon-Carré with Gauthier and S. S grew up here in the Central Plateau, and he's now a case manager for Chemin La Vie Mio. He works with 50 families and visits them every week, crossing the river in a carved-out log and walking for hours. The journey out of extreme poverty begins with some basic assets like goats and chickens, free healthcare, and a weekly stipend of 300 gourds, or about $7. Not enough to live on, but just enough to ease the desperate daily search for food. S will use the visit to check on the health of the animals, make sure the water filter is being used, and talk to the member about health and shelter. Zetren Joseph has been looking after her grandchildren since their parents died a few years ago. She used to beg for food in the local town to feed them. She wants them to go to school, but it's hard to think about tomorrow when it rained last night.
When it rains right in the house, and I sleep right in the mud. And there's nobody else to help.
The next day we crossed the river further up. Many of the women are so poor when they start the program that they've never actually handled bills or notes. So learning to manage small amounts of money is a key part of their journey to self-sufficiency. Saving, and later borrowing, will help them in their income-generating activities as they build their small businesses. Elmina Bousquet was forced to give up 2 of her 9 children to servitude in Port-au-Prince a year ago because she couldn't afford to feed them. Now she's 3 months into the program, and the 2 girls, aged 12 and 13, have just returned home. And Elmina is confident that she'll be able to support them. She's just sold her first goats and bought a pony. Now she's learning to write her name.
I would like to learn to read and write, because if you don't learn to read and write, you're nothing.
Friday is market day in Boucon-Carré. Merline Thomas graduated from Chemin La Vie Mio just 9 months ago, and already things are changing. Merline is finding the pathway to a better life for her family by growing and trading vegetables. And now she's making her first repayment on a microfinance loan, looking forward to building her business and her family's future.
I want to advance, to continue, to come to my meetings regularly, to pay on time, to keep my promises, to move forward and not backwards.
When they're ready to graduate, they always say they want to thank Foncauze, they want to thank Gauthier, they want to thank me for all that we've done. And I always say to them, you are the ones who had the courage to make this leap, to change your life this way. And that's a very, very difficult thing to do. So you need to be congratulating yourselves, because it takes an incredible amount of courage. And that's, I think, what sustains me, is to see how much they want it and how much they're willing to invest in getting it.